from the News Channel 5 Network. This is SCORE on Business.
Hey, welcome to SCORE on Business. I'm Pete Hendricks. I'm a serial entrepreneur and your host for today. SCORE provides low-cost seminars most Saturdays. Usually the seminars are like Start Your Business, Grow Your Business, Accounting and QuickBooks. Then also we have an exciting event on September 23rd from 7:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Lipscomb University. There's no charge for the event, which will cover topics such as legal issues, business modeling, marketing, and funding. And you can learn more about both the Saturday classes as well as the upcoming event at our website, scorenashville.org, and look under the Events and Calendar tab. Okay, let's get to our guest today. Our first guest is Brett Holladay. Brett started a CFO services practice after a 25-year career in corporate America. Brett, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Pete. It's good to be here.
And after about 25 years in corporate America, you kind of maybe return to the roots that you came from and are working with small businesses. And share a little bit about that with me.
Well, I was in corporate America for, like you said, for 25 years. The last 17 was with a Fortune 100 company. My family roots, my father, his entire career was related to small businesses. He had a furniture store for 20 years. Then he did what I'm doing for 12 or 14 years, which led to him becoming the CFO with the National Federation of Independent Businesses, which is a advocate organization for small and mid-sized businesses. So I guess you could say it's in my blood.
Yeah.
I have a real passion for it.
Now, I will say the National Federation of Independent Businesses, they do a lot for us in small business. I'm a member. Anyway, that has nothing to do with you.
They're a great group.
Yeah, they are. And they're here, so they contribute, what, 150 jobs or 200 jobs to the economy here?
I'm not sure the exact number, but yes.
It's in that neighborhood.
It's a positive force in the community.
Yes. So, Brett, there are a lot of different types of financial professionals. There are bookkeepers and accounting firms and CFOs. How are each of these needed for small and entrepreneurial businesses?
To start with the bookkeeper and accountant, Pete, primarily these are the people who grind it. They are the ones that do the journal entries, that do the accounting, produce the financials. At the, I guess you would say, at the beginning level, they're kind of the foundation for an organization. The next step from that is usually called a controller or an accounting manager. What a controller does typically is supervise the accounting function and possibly some other functions. The controller is an important position. See, the controller is who makes the enforces the policies, the procedures, any sort of objectives that the C-level executives want.
So, and is another way of saying that they are responsible for having the for doing the general ledger accounting correctly. They don't do it, but they oversee the people who do it, and then also for the having the financial statements correct.
They are. They are responsible for making sure they're correct, making sure they're done timely, and making sure they're reliable. Okay.
And what about CFOs? Tell us about that.
A CFO is a higher level, a C-suite position. CFO is much more strategic. A CFO works with the business owner or CEO to help set and manage short and long-term goals, and then measure the effectiveness of those goals. It could be a business case. When doing so, a CFO will set a best case scenario, worst case scenario, likely case scenario, and then measure the performance against that.
You partnered with B2B CFOs as you went into business for yourself. What's their time requirement to be
typically about 25 years of
right.
experience.
So with CFOs, we're really looking at people that have been doing it a long time and have kind of moved to it to be in a strategic part of the decision-making process for the executive board.
Generally speaking, yes. It takes several years of experience
right.
to reach that level.
Yeah, and not several like 5. It takes a while.
That's about right.
Yeah.
You can have 5, but I think we call those prodigies.
Right.
And typically,
yeah.
I was probably 15 or 20 years into my career.
Right.
B2B wants 25 years.
Right.
Because the level of service that the firm is committed to.
Right.
B2B is the largest CFO services firm in the country. Mm-hmm. Approximately 220 partners in 46 states.
Yeah. The reason I wanted to point out, a lot of small companies will have somebody running the accounting function, and there are times when a CFO is needed, and so you're part of a community, whether it's B2B and of course, like everybody, you have competition, but there are seasoned CFOs that will work for a specific period of time, a few hours a month, a specific project, to bring in that higher level of skill set and knowledge for a company that couldn't have someone doing that full time.
That is correct, and that's
yeah.
one of the key areas of my practice.
Right.
Sometimes people want to put me in that bucket. What I do is much broader
right.
than that. I can go in on a project basis. I can go in and I can do the business cases, as we were just discussing. Mm-hmm. I can go in and do a lot of cleanup. A lot of entrepreneurs, well, they didn't get into business to do senior level financial. I can't think of one that started a business thinking, I cannot wait
yeah.
to do senior level financial functions.
Yeah.
So sometimes the financials are neglected. And
right.
without the financials being correct, they are not useful to be the management tool they are meant to be.
Right.
Arguably the most important management tool that a company has.
And I think of myself as an entrepreneur, and what I do really well is interact with people and come up with great ideas and hopefully execute some of them. I guess I'm sure you have been to more than one company where the books and the financial statements had not been set up correctly, and part of the many years in the industry for a CFO is learning that stuff where you can, even though you don't do it, you oversee it to make sure it's right. And so, in going into a smaller company, one of the areas you would take a look, if they were open to that, would be to make sure everything's set up correctly.
That is exactly right. If it is not, it needs to be set up correctly
right.
to begin with.
Yeah.
Then you need to make sure that there's data that you can measure the actual results against.
Yes.
A lot of times that's not available. The examples are budgets and forecasts, prior year information, industry averages, and in that case, you can take your actual results, assuming they're correct.
Right.
And you have kind of a reference point to compare your results to, particularly when you're talking about budget.
Right.
If your actual has a significant variance from budgeted numbers, mm-hmm. it is wise to investigate and to find the reason for that, whether it's a negative or a positive.
Right. So we need to take a break now, mm-hmm. and you will be back on next week's show. So we'll start with budget variance then to make sure that their folks have clean measurements there. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Remember, scorenashville.org. Back.